Alright, so if there is a ancient order of spiritually enriched star people somewhere, and you're a star goddess, princess, whatever, and you're like 4, and you're like really excited because you started calling in the phone book to try to find the boy of your dreams that you were star destined with in some electric youth new human cloth that you, or human looking cloth that you came in, or we don't use the word human, it's some electric youth genetic cloth that you came to be in, and you didn't want to waste any time because already the earth surface and the universe was out of balance and it was going in a really dangerous direction. So you asked one of the spiritual artists, because that's what they call themselves apparently, for some help. And then as soon as they heard that you were an American, they wanted to close your restaurant before you even had a chance. Now, if a woman from Romania and a woman from Armenia, which two peoples normally do not really see eye to eye or get along, were to enter a room and sit at a table, and one was to serve, say, or someone was to bring in a plate of baklava and a plate of moussaka. Now, would either of the two sitting at the table know what those words were? Why the words were built that way with those letters? And would they know what the ingredients were in the two dishes in front of them? Would they know if the dish was supposed to be served cold or hot? To an American who is willing to learn, by the way, and actually very interested in learning about these things, the person who was supposed to be the spiritual artist got partially of the way forward, but really never wanted to invest and see that the Star Princess in America ever succeeded. In fact, it was like they wanted to close the like they just did enough to get the people in the room, like, fancy, 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 okay, now we can close the restaurant, like she didn't do a good enough job. So they made some kind of thing with an impact zone. I have, apparently my godfather I was born to, Edward, he married someone who looks, she's about like 4'4". I don't know, she's really tiny. And I think she's like North Moroccan. Like the white, really pale white skin, but she doesn't act North Moroccan whatsoever. And Edward would not listen to a Jezebel when she tried to warn that maybe the marriage was not such a great idea before it actually happened, and however that works in Star People. And potential future electric youth cloth that you might be related to that might be a problem for everyone around the world, but you don't even believe in that much. So, then we have, and by the way, if I speak to, which I don't, but I just know things, the short North Moroccan lady that impacted my family Gundar zone in the most horrific manner because she has a friend circle and she chooses all of the wrong things to do, and she is like a toggle A/B switch. It's like there's one side that's like, oh, super helpful, super nice, wonderful, and then all of a sudden there's a side, and then she doesn't remember the side. Like that's, I think, what the Catholics called like a in possession, and then like an exorcism. Like, yeah, it's like, whoa, who are you talking about, and why are you trying to poison the water hole by saying such nasty things about someone who did you no harm whatsoever? Yeah, that was going to be a real problem. So then the spiritual artist gave me a Nina, a Pinta, and a Santa Maria right? I don't know who the Pinta is. I met the Nina. She was trying to be helpful, but again, I was completely disconnected because I have other atmospheric problems and nowhere to report to, and nobody checking in on my health, safety, and welfare, clearly. I mean, I look like I'm in prison because I have been. Let's think about this. And then I've got, oh, and then the spiritualist is like, well, see, I don't really see much a change in the American impact zone around where she is. So she hasn't earned enough whatever credits, right? Well, see, here's the thing, though. I'm the electric youth sorcerer. I have Guttentag. It's Guttentag. I'm Pharaona. I'm pharaonic. I'm Pharaona. When I say it, it matters, and it matters in ways that count in more ways than your like little bitty impact zone, which I tried my hardest at 5 to get everybody involved. I had my uncle Stevie, who oh man, I feel so bad for. Like, he is such a love and like such an amazing person, and he and I should have had such a different journey together, and I had such high hopes that my life would turn out better and that I would have a place for him and my Aunt Judy and whatnot. But it has turned out to like he's got to deal with like the operator of everybody's Bizietica and like all the poison, and then documenting it somehow in tracking and record keeping. And God, this poor guy's got all the poison in his ear. Like, he's got to be earning some like Uber points, I hope. Because I don't listen to the poison. I'm just like, yeah, really, yeah, go. There's an operator somewhere that wants to take your order of nobody gives a shit, but like it ain't me. There's too many colostomy bags that are all filled up in this lifetime. Thanks much. So I am what's called a fallen star. What happens to a fallen star when it falls and people elsewhere just want to play games and don't want to actually help it? It's almost like they put their hand on top. They're like, I don't look at that. Yeah, Guttentag, by the way, is how you go between the 10 that came before, which is Mariah's kids, and then my 1. Because there's 10 and then there's 1 where the elf, ELF, in Germano Tedesco. The Kazakhstan Tartar, is it Tartar? I always say Tartarus because that's my position and that's where I was supposed to be. But I know there's Khazars, there's Zars, there's Khazar, Zar, there's Tartar, and there's a couple of others. But again, I never got to any artistry or tapestry or anything that I was supposed to be entered into because I'm in America with people who just really don't care. They don't care about me. They don't care about the success of like Earth, the people, like anything working out. In fact, Morocco had a larger lead and was going to be a severe problem, which I said I have to balance out and equate out due to my already impacted close to home zone, which impacts in ways that are really hard to overcome. And again, nobody did anything. It was like that's what they wanted. I said I can't have one shoe or one wheel larger than the other 3. It doesn't work that way. I said I have to balance out. I know everybody wants whatever they want. I have chips, CHIPS, and I have coin, COIN. So you flip a coin and then you turn the chip. I think everybody's chip if they turn over as to who the Pinta, PINTA. I'm pretty sure it has my name, Nicole Cataruzza, on it. Self-assigned, but then that was because I needed people to have when my chips are down. I need people to know my name and to make sure and check in on me, especially when the odds are stacked in such a horrific manner and too many people want to hurt me for already unbalancing the equation in like market manipulation before I even arrive, and then continues to just keep rolling as we're trying to bring some other ancient cultures and civilizations up to speed so I don't get snuffed out in, well, several different manners, but we'll just leave it at the moment with my, what I call day label. My day electric youth is, and now I'm 42. I mean, just sitting on the Fidelis in the dirt for 42 years as an electric sorceress youth. Yesterday, I also had the part where there was I went into a outer, or an off, we call off plan room or meeting, back in like, I labeled it 7112015 DASH 07152015. That number was a room where I had a bunch of different, it was a series of meetings with earthly problems of people who were hiding on different bases, BASES, and layers, LAYERS. And like when Niklaus and I first met, he was like, does your family have a layer? And I'm like, a layer? A layer? What? I don't understand. He's like a base camp, like where you go inside the cave for the protection. I said, no. I said they barely have an abode, like a home. I think it's made of brick, but it's not even the brick with the crystal brick with the Deutsch, like with the stucco with the crystals. It's the, I don't know, for all purposes, it's like the new Adobe Mexican brick that's cheaper. So let's think about this. That's what they came out in the 50s just to like really sodomize my family. All right, so we went into the room, and I want to call it a Korean because that's really what it felt like, who likes computers and to punch buttons. They were really excited that they got a whole room that nobody gave them. They just killed a lot of the wrong people that I needed in order to gain entry point. They built something, what they were telling me was a 10-layer birthday cake. They were so excited about our reappearance. Oh, for me, and at the time it was Mark. It was Nicole and Mark, and Nicole was in a really bad way. And Nicole just wanted to have a date with Mark and lose whatever script had Tia Frio on it completely. But I wanted that date in writing, and I wanted it to have like an earthly schedule, because I wasn't leaving that room until that 10-layer cake was unlayered and I had a date with Mark that I could rely on. And then, believe it or not, we jumped back to however that works, and I wound up in a Lowenstein facility, which was a hospital, where literally time and space split, and the conscious reality of my body laying like in a fetal position in the hospital bed, while the other reality around almost like a crystal ball around my body, where you can watch time and space through a different lens and filter, because I'm a center point, where I was holding on to a ball, like a ski bar, and being pulled through 9 to 10 different, they called it a security net, but it would pull through with my electric youth. The skin, literally, I felt it burning off of my skin down to my skeleton, but my skeleton survives, and then when it goes through the next patch, it gains skin again, and then as it gets pulled through the radiological field, it burns the skin off again, and Alexander was next to me, and I knew that the count in the everlasting counter was counting up too significantly because it was hurting myself and Alexander. So I told Alexander to get back into a pebble format and like melt back into mom. So this way it was only counting for one of us. And so this way he wasn't feeling all of the pain, because when he was next to me feeling the pain, it was intensified on such an epic scale. So he just melted into me, and then we became one again for that that piece of an incident report that I don't know if anybody's even following up on any of this stuff.